I'm currently a sophomore here at Robert Morris University. I'm going to tell you a story, and it's not going to be the happiest one, but it's basically the story of my life. I was bullied in middle school and high school, and I had numerous family problems that I wasn't sure how to deal with. At the age of 13, I started self-harming myself, which is cutting myself, and it seemed like the only escape I had from reality. I began to find myself lost every single day, and I felt that was my only way to cope. My final cut was the one where my brother found me on the bathroom floor. After that incident, I soon found the story of this girl, Renee Yohe, in To Write Love in Our Arms. She started cutting when she was younger too. It got worse throughout high school like me, but she turned to alcohol and drugs to cope. She consumed alcohol, addicted to coke, and started smoking regularly every single day. But I'll continue her story later. Without them, I wouldn't be here speaking today, and the purpose of this speech is for you all to contribute to Write Love in Our Arms. On their website, you can see their own statistics of what they do to help people, which is right here. They help people with depression, anxiety, eating disorders, substance abuse, and self-harm like me. Depression is a mood disorder that manifests in symptoms including feeling sad or empty. Many experience weight changes, irritability, or a loss of energy, and recurring thoughts of suicide. More than 350 million people suffer from depression. 9.7% of all Americans have some kind of mood disorder like depression, and it is a worldwide leading disability. Some may be treated, but even if they are treated, they always go back to feeling the emptiness inside of them. Addiction is a chronic brain disorder, and the people who suffer from it are the ones who cannot control their need for the drug or alcohol that they consume. That can lead to behavior changes, and symptoms can include the tolerance to the effects that the drug they use, and they experience withdrawal from it, and that has its own symptoms in itself. 3.8% of the population has this disorder, and more than 25% of adults with mental illness have co-occurring dependence or abuse. Next is self-injury, and it is purposely harming yourself, like what I did when I was younger. It can include cutting, scratching, hair pulling, hitting yourself, or preventing a wound from heal, which is like picking a scab on your leg so you just keep feeling the pain. It doesn't affect just youth, but adults do it too. And next is suicide, or the thought or the action of taking one's life. It's complex, and it's not just the person, it's everything that surrounds the person. People who are suicidal may talk about death a lot, and they withdraw from the people they love, and soon become reckless. Suicide is always preventable, and talking about it to that person doesn't make them want to commit suicide more. It can actually help save their life. Around the world, there is a suicide every 40 seconds. In the US alone, there is a suicide every 13.7 minutes. Next is anxiety disorders, and it creates a feeling of fright or distress in a normal situation, in a non-threatening situation. It can go to the extent of a person not being able to live the normal life. And the most common type of anxiety disorder is specific phobias and social anxiety disorder. Last is eating disorder, and it involves any attitudes or emotion towards food or weight issues. It affects men and women both with physical and mental consequences. This includes anorexia or bulimia, and the organization recognizes these problems, and it's not just Renee who suffers, it's actually around the world. Thankfully, To Write Love in Our Arms was founded in 2006 when a guy named Jamie Twerski took Renee after she was rejected from treatment. She was allowed to go back in treatment after 5 days when she basically had to detox herself. And after those 5 days, she was allowed back into treatment. And during that time span, Jamie Twerski, the founder of To Write Love in Our Arms, began writing a blog about Renee, and the blog went viral. Originally in that time span, Jamie didn't think that it would be viral as it is. They began printing t-shirts to pay for Renee's treatment, and they decided to become a nonprofit organization after they realized what the organization can do. Here's their mission statement. It's dedicated to presenting hope and finding help for people struggling with depression, addiction, and all those that I mentioned before. It exists to encourage, inform, inspire, and also to invest directly into treatment. Stuart Love and Arms started getting big from Warped Tour. I don't know if any of you guys know what that is, but they decided to kind of co-involve with bands because everybody listens to music, and they thought if one band listened to the statement, then it could spread the word faster and stronger. It's important to recognize what the organization would do with the proper monetary and volunteer help. They would be able to plan more concerts like Warped Tour to help spread the word, like I said. And instead of having 2 locations just in the U.S., they would have more locations as a center for success. And like I said before, they would be able to spread the word faster and stronger to help people to feel like they're not alone in whatever battle. Lastly, here's what you can do to help. They have t-shirts that you can buy online, and they have posters, and they have phone cases that you can see here. And this book right here, Purpose for the Pain, is actually the complete story of Renee Yohe, which I showed a picture of her before. You can contribute your time directly towards Stuart Love and Arms, like they have internships that you can focus on. You can participate in Stuart Love and Arms Day just by writing love on your shoulder, or on your arm, excuse me. And it helps spread the word that you can support whoever is in need. You can follow them on Twitter and Instagram. They always have words of encouragement. And if you see someone struggling, you may not notice them directly, but if you notice someone talking about death or talking about they want to kill themselves, tell them that they're not alone whatever battling they're struggling. With the support system Stuart Love and Arms gave Renee, she is currently completely clean and still has a hand in helping the organization. It's important to recognize what this organization can do to society, and I hope you guys can contribute any way possible. Thank you. Any questions?